From floating mustard droplets to bread that stretches like cosmic spaghetti, space can turn an ordinary sandwich into a mind-bending physics experiment. Let's explore what would happen if you packed your lunch for a picnic near a black hole. Let's start with your sandwich floating in zero gravity. Without Earth's pull, your bread slices and fillings would drift apart like dancers in slow motion. That turkey slice? It's now performing graceful backflips through the cabin. Your mayonnaise breaks into perfect spheres, floating around like tiny edible planets. Even taking a bite becomes a cosmic challenge. Crumbs turn into miniature meteors, zooming around your spacecraft. And forget about pouring a drink to wash it down. Your beverage would float out of your cup in wobbling blobs, creating shimmering spheres that you'd have to chase down with a straw. This isn't just messy eating. It's a delicious demonstration of how physics works when gravity takes a vacation. Now let's get closer to a black hole where things get really wild. As your sandwich approaches, the black hole's intense gravity starts playing tug-of-war with your lunch. The force is so strong and uneven that it stretches everything vertically, like pulling taffy. Your sandwich bread gets longer and thinner, turning into something that looks more like linguine than sliced bread. The meat, lettuce and tomatoes all stretch into super-thin strands. Scientists call this spaghettification. And yes, that's the real scientific term. Not even light can escape once it passes the black hole's edge, called the event horizon. Your cosmic lunch would get stretched thinner and thinner until it's just a stream of atoms, joining the swirling disk of matter around the black hole. Here's where things get really strange. Time itself starts behaving differently near a black hole. Imagine watching your sandwich as it falls toward the event horizon. From your safe distance, it appears to slow down, moving more sluggishly until it seems frozen in time. This isn't just your eyes playing tricks. It's Einstein's theory of relativity in action. Time actually moves slower, closer to strong gravity. If you could somehow retrieve your sandwich after leaving it near the black hole for an hour, you might find that years have passed back on Earth. Your fresh sandwich could technically be older than your grandchildren. The stronger the gravity, the more dramatic this time difference becomes. It's like your lunch is caught in slow motion while the rest of the universe speeds ahead. Now let's talk about why astronauts can't just munch on regular crackers in space. In zero gravity, those tiny crumbs become dangerous projectiles, zipping around at surprising speeds. A single breadcrumb could damage sensitive equipment or, even worse, float into an astronaut's eye or nose. That's why space food is designed to be as crumb-free as possible. Even sandwiches need special bread that holds together better than your regular loaf. Think about it. A crumb on Earth falls harmlessly to your plate, but in space, it keeps moving until it hits something. And at the speed spacecraft travel, even a tiny speck can pack a punch. That's why astronauts often eat their food straight out of sealed packages, using special utensils and techniques to keep everything contained. Space is a wild place when it comes to temperature. It's like having your sandwich in the most extreme kitchen ever. In direct sunlight, temperatures can soar to a scorching 250 degrees, 121 degrees, hot enough to turn your bread into toast in seconds. But move into the shade and temperatures plummet to a bone-chilling 250 degrees, 157 degrees, instantly freezing your sandwich solid. The strangest part? These extreme temperatures can happen just inches apart. Without Earth's atmosphere to spread heat around, your sandwich could be simultaneously freezing on one side and burning on the other. That's why spacecraft need special thermal protection, and why astronauts' food containers are carefully insulated. In space, even a simple sandwich needs high-tech protection to stay at a tasty, edible temperature. Let's dive into the fascinating world of space condiments. In zero gravity, your favorite sauces turn into floating spheres thanks to surface tension. Mustard forms perfect golden orbs that drift through the air, while ketchup breaks into tiny red globes that bounce off the walls of your spacecraft. Even mayonnaise becomes a collection of wobbly white spheres. Honey is particularly entertaining. It stretches into long, twisting strands before breaking into shimmering amber beads. This is why astronauts use special squeeze bottles for their condiments. Regular bottles would create a mess of floating sauce droplets that could damage equipment or create a cleaning nightmare. The most popular space condiments are thick sauces that stick to food better and are less likely to escape into the cabin. Let's calculate what it would take for your sandwich to escape a black hole's powerful grip. At a safe distance, your lunch needs to travel at about 25,000 miles per hour just to break free from Earth's gravity. But near a black hole, you'd need to launch that sandwich at speeds close to light itself. That's a whopping 670 million miles per hour. Even a rocket-powered sandwich couldn't make it once it passes a point called the point of no return. The closer your lunch gets, the more energy it needs to escape. Think of it like trying to swim up a waterfall that gets stronger and stronger until even light itself can't climb back up. That's why black holes appear completely dark. They're cosmic vacuum cleaners that nothing can escape from. Regular sandwiches just don't cut it in space, and there are good reasons why. A typical Earth sandwich would quickly turn into a moldy mess in a spacecraft's warm, humid environment. Bread goes stale faster in space and can grow harmful bacteria that could make astronauts sick. Plus, regular bread creates those dangerous floating crumbs we talked about earlier. That's why space agencies developed special space bread. It's more dense, moist, and has preservatives to keep it fresh for months. Most astronauts use tortillas instead of sliced bread. They're flat, flexible, and don't create crumbs. The fillings need special treatment too. Meats and vegetables are either dehydrated or thermostabilized to prevent spoilage. Even simple things like salt and pepper come in liquid form to keep them from floating away. Let's explore what happens when your sandwich bag meets the ultimate vacuum of space. A regular plastic sandwich bag would instantly balloon outward as the air inside pushes against the vacuum outside. The pressure difference is so strong that your bag might burst, sending your lunch on an unexpected spacewalk. This is why astronauts use special containers with heavy-duty seals. These space-grade containers can handle the extreme pressure differences and keep food fresh in zero gravity. They're built like tiny spacecraft themselves with multiple layers of protection and special venting systems. Without these containers, your sandwich would not only float away, but could also dry out instantly in the vacuum of space, turning your lunch into a freeze-dried space snack. Let's plan the perfect menu for your space adventure. Spherical foods like grapes and blueberries are natural space travelers. They're already shaped for zero gravity and won't break apart easily. Thick soups in squeeze pouches work great since they stay contained. Sticky foods like peanut butter are space heroes because they actually stay on your utensils. Noodles? Not so much. They'd float everywhere like tasty tentacles. Hard candies are perfect for space since they dissolve slowly and don't create crumbs. For drinks, carbonated beverages are a no-go. Those bubbles have nowhere to rise in zero gravity, causing some seriously uncomfortable space burps. The best space picnic combines foods that are mess-free, nutrient-dense, and most importantly, won't turn your spacecraft into a floating buffet of wayward snacks. Thanks for joining this cosmic culinary adventure. From floating condiments to spaghettified sandwiches, space dining is truly out of this world. If you enjoyed this journey, smash that like button, subscribe for more space science, and share with your food-loving friends.